Hello, my loves. Welcome. Welcome in and back to the Dark Mirror Tarot. How did you wake? What did you dream? What is the quality of the water you keep? This page of cups in reverse energy is our lesson from the last reading. As we aspire to be the King of Cups, the master of our emotional realm, in order to claim our power and reclaim this destiny. As I've said, this journey that we're on, these 9 black moons, I was making a note on my calendar that puts us at the next vernal equinox. The 9th black moon will be the one in March of 2027. If you're following this timeline, that is, and watching these vehicles, these videos in real time, and we've just had the first of the 9 this July. So here we are. And the moon now is growing, a waxing crescent in Leo. And as I record this, we're in the hour of Venus. Where I am, the air is thick. There's fires in the north, drifting smoke into our atmosphere, and it's hazy. Outside, I can see, even with my glasses off across the room, I can tell from outside the window that it's smoky. It smells like a campfire. It's been an interesting past 24 hours. You know, I went outside yesterday and cleaned up the yard and tended to the grass. Everything seemed fairly normal. As the sun was setting, though, you could sense this fiery difference, just some strange quality, and the way that the sun looked. And I started to notice the change in the air, and I could tell there was smoke. It seemed to me almost like there was other people having fires, so I decided to have one too. Just a little pile of sticks that I was burning. I collect sticks when they fall from the trees throughout the year, during storms and whatnot. And so I was having my little fire, and then it began to rain. And the rain became a pretty good downpour, and I kind of got soaked in this soup of whatever's going on out there. And I came inside, and I did shower off, and I made myself something to eat, and I had an experience that was just unlike any other that I've ever had before. And I'm not going to share the details of it here, but I jokingly had made a post on my personal social media, you know, about being out in the acid rain, and like, if I mutate, maybe it's for the best. And then I honestly have felt slightly changed. I don't know if that is relatable to anyone else out there. If you had an experience last night in the rain. So I put a video up of like just the rain hitting the pavement, and it's gotten like almost 5,000 views on my personal page. It's wild to me because I don't get that type of reach. So it's just interesting, this acid bath. And this Page of Cups energy, okay. This lesson. And being in the space of the moon. So I woke today with a very strong melancholy and sadness and wanting to reconcile and reach out to someone, to something, to return basically to old patterns of relating, and that whole tower energy at the heart, like the way that we're processing love in this collective, you know, and the way that we've known is our comfort zone. And it's kind of a way of accommodating and like feeding into the sadness rather than actually growing and moving forward. So that's what we're shining light onto today, and moving forward with grace and love, with the hand, the guiding hand of the Queen of Swords, parenting the inner child. We have to be honest with ourselves on this, in this space. We're not coddling ourselves. This is Queen of Swords parenting, okay? And so we show up in this space of the moon. And we need to remember that some of the things that we've been doing have really caused a rift with this energy that we claim, you know, so much to have wanted to connect with, but yet we show up with the lesson of a reversed Knight of Cups. Our love offer isn't true because we're not resonating at our highest vibrational self, and what we had offered in this past round, as I discussed in the last reading, was really not even our true heart to be loved. It was just a projection of our wounding. And a lot of what went wrong, if we want to be honest, is because we let ourselves be completely absorbed in this fantasy, and we just stopped even being a person. We just were this dedication to this fantasy that wasn't even a true, it wasn't like, it wasn't in reality. It was really built in our mind. It wasn't fortified in reality, whatever this connection was. Like, it had potential, it had there was real love there was real feelings, there was real emotion, but there was no true like 3D manifestation of it. And that energetic playground for us led us into, you know, just even more fantasy and indulging this inner child in the fantasy realm of not really understanding or figuring out how to connect in reality with people in a true King of Cups fashion, which is our ideal. And this is where we're heading with our highest self online. And we are still playing this game with the inner child. Like I said, I woke up super melancholy today, and I have to get into these headspaces of really preparing for this energy. And if I have to trick myself into doing it to create the habit, then I accept that as the higher self version, and I'm allowing the space to hold the loss and also play this game with the inner child. Okay, let's focus. But we have to be honest with ourselves, because with this other, we caused this betrayal really by letting ourselves get off of our emotional center, ignoring red flags even, that we could have dialed ourselves in this connection. And the truth is, okay, that in this last round of whatever this connection is and however it's manifested for you, this timeline that we're working on was like from winter solstice 2025 through like spring of 2026, and now that's when like the connection began and then intensified, and then we're learning the lesson now through the separation, and that's what the energy we're dealing with. And so like this, there's a really strong pull today to want to reach out to this other person. From this collective, it's very likely manifesting as another person. It doesn't have to be, it could be some other type of situation, but it's likely a romantic partnership. And when I'm speaking in she and he, I am speaking in archetype, but this channel, the messages and guides that I have consulted with have been pointing me towards, a more she, femme, her, woman, and woman presenting centered type vibe. So however that resonates with you, if you find yourself here, and wherever you are on that spectrum, know you're welcome. Just be aware that that's the energy that we're focusing on and dialing in and dealing with. So, but that we do carry all these archetypes within us: the she, the he, the king, the queen, the maiden, the hunter. But this is just how it's playing out for this collective. You likely have strong Venus placements and are dealing with like that last Cancer new moon that we just had in a very personal and life-changing way. And so this cycle that we're in with this 9 new moons upcoming, like we've just gone through the first one, puts us back at the vernal equinox. So, here we are. And I think working through Capricorn season again this year is going to be pivotal to our growth. It's almost like, okay, like last time we went through this round where we were the initiate. Okay, now we've seen and we can see clearly if we keep our eyes open. So we're getting this one as like more like an open book test. Okay, so the thing is that this outside, this Capricornian, Saturnian other that we get pulled into through the hexagonal geometry with Saturn in our Venusian aspects, right? We get pulled into these loops, and now we see the damage that we've done to the situation now. Like we see it clearly. We keep repeating the patterns. And if we're lucky, we've got 1 or 2 people in our life that like still tolerate us and understand that we do it because of our wounding and our kind of psychosis, and they still accept and love us. Like, thanks, Mom, if you have that person, thank you. I'm sorry, I hope that's not triggering for anyone like out there. I mean, whoever that person is for you. For me, it's like my mom, like I have codependency issues with that, with the Empress in reverse, granted, and that's part of what we're working through, and that may be relevant to you out there too, about really becoming independent of that. But at the same time, they're like your only person. So hopefully you have somebody out there that still is there for you, but like you can't expect, like people that you, like this last person, potentially, you betrayed energetically or literally, in some way. You insulted their heart. You made them feel like they were being played with, and we have to own up to our childish ways with this Knight of Cups in reverse. We have acted really immaturely. With the Moon in reverse, it's true, we don't trust our own feelings, and we're seeking this outside validation so much. When we met this other person, we over-connected so much emotionally to them. We just, like, our whole personal, our own person went offline. And we just over-attached. So, you know, being in this Moon place, we want to be able to move forward in relationship, but we're like honestly so toxic, and we have to be really honest about it. And this isn't a space for like, if you are triggered by that, then, like, you know, this isn't probably the channel for you, because I'm just going to be honest with myself and with everyone here. It's like, we have to, you know, own up to how we've been immature and how we've been projecting onto our relationships. And if we really held this person close to us, like, we did play with them, you know, and we're being put in this kind of time out. It's a solitary card with the Moon. We're in the Moon space. We're showing up there because we have to come to terms with ourselves on our own. And if we feel trapped, it's because, like, we put ourselves in the corner, really. Like, we blocked and blocked and blocked, and then all of a sudden they blocked us, and we're like, oh, fuck, we're blocked? No way. Well, because it's not your mom, dude, and they're not going to treat you with that type of... And really, you know, like, if mom is doing that for you, whoever that is for you, I'm calling it mom because that's what it is for me, that is probably a toxic pattern where they're allowing you to be like, that's part of the codependency they have to break, because they're allowing you to be toxic, and they continue to keep accepting you back without, like, having clear boundaries and, like, demanding that you change. The dog and the wolf in the Moon card traditionally are guardians of boundaries, showing that limitations may be self-imposed. So there's been a lot of messages on this channel too, posting us with a view into the dreamscape. So the Moon card, again, going into intuition, your dreams. How did you wake? What did you dream? What is the quality of the water you keep? But yeah, it's like a solitary mission. We can't expect that these others want our communication right now. And to do so, it would really kind of be selfish of us. We have to put a healing balm on ourselves. There's this pull where it's like, oh, but they want us to contact them, like, and maybe part of their ego does, because they almost want to punish you still a little bit. But that can be really dangerous, because you're still going to have expectations, and then you could just self-destruct again, you know. So the advice, it really is just to go within yourself, follow your path, and realize, you know, that they could be blaming you still for things going wrong. And that any connection now might just reinforce their negative view that they already have of you. And, like, calcify that further, because you're going to be reactive still, you know, if they don't give you what you're looking for out of a communication at this time. That 9 of Wands energy we've been working with on this channel in the past few readings, on the top of the deck here, is in reverse, reminding us of this need to go into our cave, our own protective rituals. We do have the capacity to move forward and set ourselves free, but at the same time, we need to self-nurture and be at our top form. Okay? The devil showed up today on the middle world cut. Again, just that Saturnian energy, the Capricornian vibes, and then that Hanged Man in reverse was on the bottom of the deck yesterday. Talking about that self-betrayal, just, and to be honest, where we have betrayed ourselves, where we've betrayed others, and where we've been acting like the dependent child. And it's time to wake up and to confront truly whatever's causing us the anxiety. Focus. Okay? And it could be due to your own inactivity. So let's clear these cards. And the King of Cups. Strength card. We're sending strength to this other. But, if we feel it's within our capacity to, it's like we want to kind of alleviate our guilt. So again, I was saying this in the past reading, that any inclination you have like to reach out, I suggest just sort of energetically sending light and healing to that person or situation in an energetic way, rather than literally reaching out. So we get the 8 of Wands in reverse on the top of the deck, the 3 of Swords in reverse in the middle world cut, and the 9 of Coins on the bottom of the deck. Interesting. The 8 of Wands in reverse on the top, in this the top of the deck to me is like coming higher world guidance, mental energy, and then this 8 of Wands, is movement, a movement forward. But for me, this is going within and not worrying so much on like leaving home base so much right now as, working from where you are. Okay. The 3 of Swords in reverse in the middle world, it's like we're still tending to our broken heart. We're holding the space for that loss. We're owning up to our own immaturities. We're sending love energetically without expectation to situations and others who we may have harmed by our own indiscretions and our own wounding and our own projections. And this roots us 23:33 on the clock in this 9 of Coins energy. This is young Empress energy, building that empire around her. On her hand, the butterfly is landing. And the butterfly is a harbinger of what's to come, of the transformation that will take place. Holds a lot of wisdom. 3 of Cups on the middle world cut. 3 of Wands in reverse right behind it. So the power of 3 is powerful here. And the 9. In the 9. The 9 moons that we're working with. So that 3 of Cups and the middle world cut, partnerships and also third-party energy. Maybe we feel like a third wheel because we don't have the partner that we're looking for. That Three of Wands, it's like looking out into our horizons, into the landscape, but we don't really know where to go still. We don't really have much desire to go on our own. And with that Eight of Wands on the top of the deck in reverse, it's like, it's okay. We're going to go inward. Staycation. So we're not going to take any of that as negative at all. We're going to focus on this healing journey. And again, just sending love and light to those who we may have triggered and sent into their own emotional battles, with those Capricorn, Saturnian situations or people, whatever it is you're magnetizing to yourself, with their inability really to process emotions just by their nature. They sort of avoid it, and they have certain processes and ways that they function. Coming into contact with your energy could have been, it was very disruptive. And so again, we're just sending them healing and love and light, realizing that they don't really want us to come knocking on their door with like a basket of muffins or anything. Okay, so let's talk about hops, because this is, it lands right on the rose quartz, so it wants to be talked about. Hops is moony, the moon card. So hops is really about play. We've been talking about letting the inner child play. I think really what we need to do is channel this energy today into movement and like clearing out some cupboards, or making a craft, baking something, whatever calls to you, that's like movement though, and that will actually like clear out space. Like if it can be a project that you can make something and also like empty out an old box of paper or something, like that would be ideal. I think about, it's like a mixture of elements into one. Like, I hope that makes sense, but this is about flexibility, okay? Loosening gears of reality, oiling the gears, tightening them back to the right tension, allowing flexibility and bounce. All right, so hops has long been an ally of humanity, integrating our ability to connect, relax, and sleep deeply. I've been sleeping really deeply, but I mean, I have help with that from my doctor. Always consult your medical professionals. Honestly, I personally would like to kind of get away from that in my life, but at the same time, it's become a habit, and I do sleep really deeply, but I don't dream. So, anyways, story time. Hops is a weaver of moonbeams and visions. Helps us relax, soother and warm breezes for more time than numbers need express. Interesting. So I'm reading some of this from the Dirt Gems Plant Ally deck and guidebook. A weaver of moonbeams and visions, a vine that can grow long and high, whose golden resin floats in the air of the night and causes sweet and languid dreams. Hops is a shadow plant, but one that makes the darkness sparkle. If you're finding yourself anxious, beholden to the details, tied up and clenching, a need for control, invite hops in. Invite both the losing and finding your way, the lightning and floating. Invite in this friend who skips beside you. Lie down and watch the stars come out together. Interesting side note, and again, I'm not your life coach. I am not here to advocate or not for anything. use your own judgment, consult professionals if you have issues or whatever. Just here sharing my experience, and hopefully it is a cautionary tale, or somehow helpful to others. So for me personally, there's been a time lately, like the last couple of years, I really haven't been partaking in hops in any fashion or any kind of like alcohol consumption. So yeah, that's just been my thing. But then like lately I've been just like very conservatively, because I don't tolerate it well. But I have been here and there, especially in the summertime. I'm like, ooh, it's nice to have something cool to drink, and it's relaxing, and it sort of does loosen up my mind and my anxiety a bit, just, as long as I can do it and stop, that's me and that's my thing. So if that's relevant to you out there, it's like, just be moderate with it. But inviting hops into your life could be healing right now, and just a respite from the heaviness and the thickness of the air and the way things are. We have to lubricate. I love the rowboat with the moon and this card and the rocking chair. They're kind of floating in the pink cloud. I was talking about sending a pink sphere of energy out to those situations and people who we might have harmed with our projections and our ways of the way that we've been processing love energy, So however we went through this last round, was kind of destructive to ourselves and to the other in ways that we regret and that we really didn't mean to be. And the only way that we can fix it is moving forward in better energy and creating that sphere of pink light even right now, okay? Like, just relax your shoulders and sit up straight if you can in the space where you are, and breathe deeply. I can smell the campfire smoke even in the house with the windows all closed from outside. But I'm gonna relax. Center into the space where you are. And feel the weight of yourself pressing on the surface beneath you, and know that you are here. You are here for a purpose. On an inhale, you draw up rooted red energy from the earth. And bring that up through your root, expanding into your stomach and your chest, through your throat, out the top of your head, out around you, cascading down into a sphere of pink ultraviolet light. As you exhale, you fill that sphere with a pink billowing smoke, like the pink clouds you see on the hops card. Filling the sphere with this pink smoke and rising up with the red rooted energy, creating sanctuary, forgiveness, love for yourself, for the other. Letting the heaviness of that smoke exist within the bubble. and releasing it. I'm seeing the air dissolving the bubble now. And the pink smoke within becoming that smoke that is without, that is in the air all around me. The residuals of this fire, wildfires burning out of control. The self-destructiveness of this inner child's play that's turned into a war zone and caused destruction. Realizing we have a responsibility now. To be accountable. The bubble is dissolved. The energy is permeated and it's part of everything now. It's seeped into our cells. It's in the grass and the dirt and the air and the water. It's in our eyes. It's in the way we speak. The way we see each other has changed. Our visibility is affected. What remains is a vibration. This has been a transformation and a realization. $37.37. Radiant love and meditate. I was working with these cards this morning, and I'm going to end this reading just by reading from the Earthly Souls and Spirits Moon Oracle about these cards. Bringing love and our radiance, wisdom, the owl, clearing of the broom, the abundance of the harvest. The cat, the cosmic cat, and this flame. Waxing moon. The waxing moon in Leo today. And this contemplation. I feel like I'm talking really quietly. I feel like I'm in this deep space. And that I'm being observed. Radiant. Meditate. One of the utmost important things you can do in your lifetime is to love yourself unconditionally. You are so important and worthy of self-love. If you can learn to accomplish this one thing, all else will fall into place. You will be able to love others and spread your gifts to the world and all around you. Love your life wickedly hard, and it will love you back even more intensely. Let go of your fears. Do not judge yourself too harshly, as this can hold you back. Now's your chance to radiate your passion for life and to share your gifts with others. Respect your mind, body, and soul. Treat your entire being with tremendous devotion and the endless love that you deserve. Love yourself unconditionally. Let your passion soar above the moon and stars. How you love yourself is how you teach others to love you. So let's not lose the lesson of what this past year has taught us so far. If you're watching this in real time, I'm talking about from winter solstice 2025 up through now, July of 2026. We're integrating this lesson, and we need to take real seriously what we've learned about love, how we process love, how we attract it, and what we do with it once it arrives, how we process it, and how we self-destruct, and how we want it and yet reject it. We have to be honest about the ways that we've been processing this. Meditating, intuition, ponder and dream. Quiet the mind and the soul will speak. Infuse your entire being with peace. Center yourself and go within. Follow your heart to your destined path. This is on page 77. Contemplate and open the dreamy gates to the world that you inhabit. Peacefully travel to and visit your inner mind space. Use meditation to inhale therapeutic, loving, and peaceful thoughts. Exhale what does not serve you anymore. Rid yourself of your burdens or any negativity that has taken up residence in your mind. Let these lower energies know that they are not welcome and must leave immediately. Inhale the open, star-filled night sky, the salty ocean waves washing up on the shore, and the golden wispy grasses blowing in the vast field. There is no limit to the bountiful treasures you can absorb and cultivate into your very own soul. This planet, Mother Earth, will provide and care for you if you return her the favor. As she burns. Radiant, illuminated, glowing, a beacon, just like the bright sun. I am a radiant being. Others feel safe and warm in my presence. Illuminate your heart with inspiration and love. Be a beacon of light, offering strength and guidance. Be as radiant as the luminous full moon, casting a shimmering glow to all below, blanketing the earth in dancing shadows. As the clouds pass around her, be as radiant as the gleaming sun, sending her luminous rays to our planet. Both the moon and sun are healing, rejuvenating, and magnetic. Soak in these powers, ignite your own glow from within, and share your newly gained strength. Recharge your energy zones. Tap into your inspiration and creativity, using your newly gained resources to their fullest extent. Choose to shine on your brightest frequency. Be like the sun, the moon, and the stars, illuminating the darkness. Well, my loves, I'm going to leave it there for today. And I hope out there that you can be productive with this energy. Be honest with ourselves moving forward. And don't let yourself fall back into traps of repeated loops. Know that you're a mystical being. And you can create what you need to create. That is the portal. That is the manifestation, the invocation, purposefully calling in of energies with wisdom and harmony, tied to the light, managing, directing the shadow from within. Cannot have the light without the darkness. The contrast provides the framework with which we can focus and channel the energy. This is the adventure. I'll talk to you again soon, okay? Love you.